The 5 longevity foods. Most Americans still don't eat but should. Hi friends, Dr. John Smith here, and welcome back to Longevity Life, the place where we talk about simple habits and smart nutrition for a longer, healthier, and more independent life. Let me ask you something before we start. Where are you right now? Are you in your kitchen, maybe making breakfast or sipping some coffee? Are you out for your morning walk, getting your steps in with your earbuds on? Or are you relaxing in your favorite chair, winding down your evening? Wherever you are, I am truly glad we are spending this time together. Now I want to ask something a little more personal. Have you ever felt like you are doing your best to eat right, but still something is missing? You are choosing whole wheat bread, low-fat milk, maybe even taking a multivitamin, and yet you feel sluggish. Your knees ache. Your energy dips halfway through the day. You forget names or feel foggy in the afternoons. If that sounds familiar, you are not alone. In fact, I hear this every single week in my clinic. Here is the real issue. Most seniors in America are missing 5 essential foods that can actually help slow aging, protect memory, improve joint comfort, and support your heart, all without a prescription. These are what I call longevity foods. And chances are you are not eating enough of them, not because you do not care, but because no one told you just how powerful they are. They are not trendy, they are not expensive. In fact, most of them are humble, simple, and easy to find at your local grocery store. But the food industry, they are not pushing these foods because they do not come in shiny packages. They do not make big money. And most doctors, well, we are trained to treat disease, not necessarily to teach nutrition. That is why I am here. Because after more than 30 years in medicine, working with thousands of patients just like you, I can tell you this food is the most underused longevity tool we have. And today we are going to talk about 5 of the most powerful science-backed foods that support healthy aging and that most Americans are still not eating. I will break down the benefits of each one. I will show you exactly how to use them even if you are cooking for one. And I will share real stories of people just like you who changed their life with these small daily habits. So here's my promise. If you stay with me until the end of this video, I will tell you about one food number 4 on the list that is so overlooked, it is almost always left out, even though it is one of the most protective foods for your brain and skin. And hey, while we are at it, let us get to know each other. Comment below and tell me where you are watching from. Your kitchen, your porch. On a walk, I read every comment and I love knowing where we are connecting from. All right, friends, grab your notepad or just sit back and listen. Let us get into today's episode of Longevity Life and uncover the 5 foods that could add more life to your years. Let us take a moment and talk about what is really going on. Most people over 60 in the United States are eating 3 meals a day, sometimes even more. Many are watching their salt, choosing low-fat options, cutting back on red meat, and adding in more fruits and vegetables. And yet, rates of heart disease are still high. Joint pain is common, fatigue is creeping in, and memory. Well, many folks tell me it is just not what it used to be. Now, why is that? Here is the surprising truth. Even with 3 meals a day, most older adults are still undernourished, not in calories, but in nutrients. And that distinction makes all the difference. You see, your body is not just a machine that runs on fuel. It is a living, breathing system that runs on information. That information comes from nutrients, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and healthy fats that literally tell your cells what to do. And when you do not get the right nutrients, your cells start to slow down. Repair mechanisms weaken, inflammation builds, and little by little, aging starts to accelerate. Let me be clear, this is not your fault. The modern food landscape is stacked against us. Processed foods are everywhere. Health labels are misleading, and even fresh produce, depending on how it is grown, can be lower in nutrients than it used to be. Plus, as we age, we absorb nutrients less efficiently. That means your body might need more magnesium, more omega-3s, more antioxidants, just to get the same benefit you would have gotten at 40. Let me give you a real example. A patient of mine, her name is Ellen, came in last year. She is 71, a retired teacher full of life, but lately she was dragging. I do everything right, she said. I eat healthy, walk every day, and still, I feel like my energy battery never recharges. So we sat down and looked at her meals. Breakfast cereal with almond milk, lunch turkey sandwich on whole wheat bread, dinner grilled chicken, a little broccoli, maybe some rice. Now that sounds reasonable, right? But when we broke it down, she was missing 4 out of 5 of the top longevity foods. She was eating plenty, but not the right stuff to support her cells, her brain, her heart. And friends, she is not alone. In fact, studies from the National Institutes of Health show that most Americans over age 65 are not getting enough fiber, potassium, magnesium, or omega-3 fats. And those four nutrients are some of the most important for keeping your body strong as you age. That is the problem. Now let us talk solution. Because the good news is, you can make small, powerful changes that truly move the needle. You do not need to overhaul your entire pantry. You do not need to count calories or go on a fancy diet. You just need to know which foods to prioritize and how to make them work for you. And that is exactly what we are going to do today. Before we dive into the science behind these 5 foods, I want to hear from you. Have you ever felt like you are doing everything right, but your body still feels older than it should? If that is, you just type the word "me" in the comments. You are not alone, and this community is full of people walking the same journey. All right, are you ready to learn the why behind these powerful foods? Coming up next, we will talk about how these specific foods interact with your cells, your immune system, and even your DNA to help you age slower, feel better, and live longer. Let's get into it. Now let us talk about why these foods matter. You have probably heard the phrase, "You are what you eat," but that is only half the story. The more accurate version is you are what your body can absorb, use, and repair with after age 60. See, as we get older, our cells go through a natural process called oxidative stress. Now do not worry, I am not going to throw a textbook at you here. Let me explain this in plain English. Oxidative stress is like rust. Imagine leaving a metal chair outside for years. Wind, rain, heat, it slowly starts to corrode. Well, that is exactly what happens inside your body over time. Sunlight pollution, poor food, lack of sleep, medications, all of these can wear down your cells like rust on that old chair. Now here is where longevity foods come in. These foods contain powerful compounds like antioxidants, polyphenols, omega-3s fiber, and plant-based phytonutrients that act like repair crews. They find that cellular rust and help scrub it clean. They also protect your DNA, the instruction manual, inside every cell from being damaged by age, toxins, or inflammation. Let us take one example, omega-3 fatty acids. These are essential fats your body cannot make on its own. They are found in certain fish nuts and seeds. And studies show that omega-3s help reduce inflammation, support brain function, improve mood, and even lower the risk of heart disease. But here is the kicker. Nearly 90% of Americans are deficient in omega-3s. That means 9 out of 10 people are missing one of the most important nutrients for healthy aging. Next up, polyphenols. These are plant compounds found in berries, tea, dark chocolate, and leafy greens. They are like natural switches that turn on good genes and turn off bad ones. Think of polyphenols like little messengers that say, "Hey, immune system, calm down. Brain, focus better. Skin, stay smooth." In one study, people who ate a diet high in polyphenol-rich foods had lower blood pressure, better memory, and improved insulin sensitivity. And get this, many of them saw these benefits in as little as 12 weeks. Then there is fiber. Most of us think of fiber as something that keeps you regular, and yes, it does. But fiber is also food for the good bacteria in your gut, and those bacteria, they play a role in everything from digestion to mood to immunity. When you feed those good bugs with fiber-rich foods like leafy greens, beans, and berries, they help reduce inflammation, support your immune response, and even lower the risk of colorectal cancer. Now here is where it gets really interesting. Certain foods, the very ones we will cover today, do more than just feed your body. They send specific chemical signals that tell your cells to repair faster, age slower, and even fight off precancerous changes. One fascinating study from the Journal of Nutrition showed that older adults who added just 1 serving of dark leafy greens per day had slower cognitive decline equivalent to being 11 years younger in brain age. Let me repeat that, 1 serving of greens per day, and their brains looked more than a decade younger. That is the power of the right foods. And that is why we are not just talking about eating healthier. We are talking about eating smarter, choosing foods that speak the same language as your cells. Because after 60, we are not just trying to survive. We are trying to thrive, to stay sharp, to stay strong, to stay independent. And the good news, your cells are still listening. Even now, even today. They are waiting for the signal to repair. So in the next section, I am going to introduce you to 5 real foods that most Americans are not eating but should. These are not pills, not powders, not fads. They are the real deal. And I will show you how to use them, what makes them special, and how to start enjoying them this week. Ready to meet the first food? Let us dive into the real-life story of someone who changed their life with just one of these coming up next. Let me tell you about someone special. His name is Frank. He is a retired firefighter from Ohio, tough, disciplined, proud of his independence. When I first met Frank, he was 72. His wife had passed a few years earlier, and he had been doing his best living on his own, but he walked into my office that day and said something that stayed with me. He looked me in the eye and said, "Doc, I feel like I'm rusting from the inside out." Now that is not something you hear every day. So I asked him to tell me more. He said he felt stiff in the morning. His knees ached going upstairs. His mind felt slow, like he was thinking through fog. And worst of all, he told me, "I just do not feel like myself anymore." So we sat down and looked at what he was eating. A pretty typical day for Frank looked like this: breakfast, toast and coffee, lunch, deli sandwich, bag of chips, dinner, a frozen meal or sometimes just soup and crackers, and maybe a cookie or two before bed. Now he was eating enough calories. He was not skipping meals. But guess what? He was getting barely any of the 5 longevity foods we will talk about today. No greens, no berries, no healthy fats, no fiber-rich legumes. Not because he did not care, but because, like many folks, no one ever showed him how or why to include them. So we made a plan. We kept things simple. I said, "Frank, let us start with breakfast. How about we add a smoothie, nothing fancy. Just frozen berries, a handful of spinach, some Greek yogurt, and a splash of almond milk." At first he made a face, spinach in a drink, but 2 weeks later he came back and said, "Doc, I think my brain woke up." He felt clearer. He started walking more. And most importantly, he felt like himself again. A few weeks after that, he added a small handful of walnuts every day, then a side of beans with dinner twice a week, then green tea in the afternoon instead of soda, not all at once, one step at a time. 3 months in, Frank said something that brought tears to my eyes. "You know, I thought getting older meant I had to feel worse. But now I feel like I'm aging better. I have energy again, my knees do not hurt as much, and I even started calling my grandkids more. And that right there is why I do what I do." Frank did not take any miracle drug. He did not go vegan. He did not follow a trendy diet. He just added 5 simple foods over time, and his body responded. Now I want to be clear. Everyone's journey is different. You may have medications, allergies, or conditions to consider. But the principle stays the same when you give your body the right tools it knows how to repair and restore. So if you're hearing Frank's story and thinking, "That could be me," then this next section is just for you. Because now I am going to break down each of the 5 longevity foods, why they matter, how they work, and most importantly, how you can start using them today in your real life, your real kitchen, your real routine. All right, friends, now let us get to the heart of today's episode. These are the 5 longevity foods that most Americans still do not eat, but absolutely should. These are backed by strong science, and more importantly, easy to bring into your daily life. Let us walk through each one, what it does, how much you need, and how to make it part of your day without overthinking it. Number 1, walnuts, nature's anti-inflammatory snack. If I could get every one of my senior patients to eat just 1 ounce of walnuts a day, I truly believe we would see fewer heart attacks, fewer strokes, and fewer memory issues. Walnuts are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid, which your body uses to reduce inflammation and support brain health. They also provide magnesium, fiber, and antioxidants, all essential for your heart and nervous system. Serving suggestion: 1 ounce per day, that is about 7 whole walnuts or 14 halves, roughly a small handful. How to use it: sprinkle chopped walnuts into oatmeal salads or yogurt. Add them to homemade trail mix with raisins and pumpkin seeds, or just eat them plain as an afternoon snack. Caution: if you are on a strict low-fat diet or have nut allergies, talk with your doctor. But for most people, a handful a day is a safe, smart addition. Longevity tip: store them in the freezer to keep them fresh and avoid that stale oil taste. Number 2, leafy greens, your daily DNA repair crew: spinach, kale, collard greens, Swiss chard. Dark leafy greens are rich in magnesium, folate, vitamin C, and chlorophyll, which help your cells repair DNA damage and reduce oxidative stress. One of my favorite studies showed that people who ate 1 to 2 cups of leafy greens daily had significantly slower cognitive decline, as if their brains were 11 years younger. Serving suggestion: 1 to 2 cups per day, raw or lightly steamed. How to use it: toss baby spinach into your eggs. Add kale to a soup or stew. Blend a handful of greens into a smoothie. Trust me, you will not taste it under the berries. Caution: some greens like spinach are high in oxalates, which may be a concern for people prone to kidney stones. Switch it up with kale or arugula. Longevity tip: steam greens lightly to reduce bitterness and preserve nutrients. Add a squeeze of lemon juice to enhance iron absorption. Number 3, berries. Small fruit. Big brain benefits: blueberries, raspberries, blackberries. These little powerhouses are packed with polyphenols, especially anthocyanins, which are known to protect the brain, improve circulation, and reduce inflammation. One long-term study from Harvard found that women who ate 2 servings of berries per week delayed memory decline by up to 2.5 years. That is powerful. Serving suggestion: 1/2 to 1 cup per day, fresh or frozen. How to use it: top your oatmeal or cereal, mix into yogurt, or simply snack on a bowl after dinner instead of cookies. Caution: watch for added sugars in frozen or canned berries. Choose unsweetened options. Longevity tip: buy frozen berries in bulk. They are cheaper and just as nutritious. Add them to a blender with spinach and almond milk for a memory-boosting smoothie. Number 4, fatty fish, omega-3 for heart and mind. Now here is the food most people skip: fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel. These are rich in EPA and DHA, the 2 forms of omega-3 that directly lower inflammation, improve triglyceride levels, and support brain function. Your brain is nearly 60% fat, and much of that needs to be omega-3s to stay sharp. Serving suggestion: 2 to 3 servings per week, about 4 ounces per serving, roughly the size of your palm. How to use it: grill salmon for dinner. Add canned sardines to toast or crackers. Make a tuna salad with olive oil instead of mayo. Caution: watch out for high-mercury fish like swordfish or king mackerel. Stick to smaller fish like sardines and wild salmon. Longevity tip: canned fish is convenient, affordable, and shelf-stable. Look for options packed in water or olive oil, not soybean oil. Number 5, green tea or matcha, a drink that repairs from within. Green tea contains a compound called EGCDG, short for epigallocatechin gallate, that has been shown to reduce oxidative stress, support DNA repair, and even slow the growth of abnormal cells. In Japan, where green tea is consumed daily, people have some of the longest lifespans in the world. And the science backs it up. Drinking 3 to 5 cups per day has been associated with lower risks of heart disease, stroke, and even certain cancers. Serving suggestion: 1 to 3 cups per day. How to use it: steep green tea bags in hot water, not boiling, and sip slowly. Try matcha powder for a stronger dose. Drink it hot or cold. Caution: do not drink extremely hot tea, which can irritate the esophagus. And if you are caffeine sensitive, opt for decaf versions. Longevity tip: make it a ritual. Replace your afternoon soda or coffee with a calming green tea break. Wrap-up checklist: if you want a simple weekly action plan, here is what I recommend. Monday: add a handful of walnuts to your breakfast. Tuesday: make a smoothie with berries and spinach. Wednesday: grill a piece of salmon and serve with sautéed greens. Thursday: brew a fresh cup of green tea after lunch. Friday: try sardines or tuna with whole grain crackers. Saturday: add kale or chard to your soup or stew. Sunday: enjoy a mixed berry bowl as dessert. What food are you going to try first this week? Leave a comment below and type the word "try" so I know you are taking the first step. And hey, invite a friend or family member to try it with you. Coming up next, I will help you bring all of this together with a summary, some closing words, and a sneak peek into next week's episode. Ready? Let us wrap it up. So there you have it. My friends, 5 simple, powerful foods that can help you live longer, feel better, and age with strength and grace. Let us recap them one more time. Walnuts for your brain, your heart, and your joints. Leafy greens for DNA repair and full body protection. Berries for memory, blood sugar, and antioxidants. Fatty fish for omega-3s that fight inflammation and protect your mind. Green tea for cellular defense, calm energy, and deep longevity. Now, I know that was a lot of information, but do not worry, you do not need to do it all at once. You can start with one small step, one new food this week, because when it comes to healthy aging, consistency beats perfection. And I want you to remember this. Your body has not given up on you. Your cells are still listening. Even now, no matter your age, no matter your history, your body is ready to heal. All it needs is the right support. So I invite you, try one of these longevity foods this week. Just one. Add it to your breakfast, your lunch, your evening tea. Then come back here and tell me how it felt. Type 1 in the comments if you are going to begin this journey. I would love to celebrate that first step with you. And if you found today's episode helpful, if even one thing made you say, I needed that, then please tap that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode, and share it with someone you care about, a friend, a spouse, a neighbor who might need this information too. Here on Longevity Life, we are building a community of people who want to live with purpose, vitality, and clarity, not just survive, but thrive. And we are just getting started. In next week's episode, we are going to explore something just as important, the dinner mistakes that are wrecking your sleep and how to fix them. If you have been struggling with falling asleep, staying asleep, or waking up groggy, do not miss it. We will dive into 3 changes to your evening routine that could transform your nights and your mornings. Until then, take care of your body, honor your years, and remember, every healthy choice you make today is a gift to your future self. This is Dr. John Smith, and I will see you next time right here on Longevity Life.